Today we are just going to see about the pivot tables, what exactly the pivot table is, what are the golden rules of the pivot tables, and why do we use the pivot tables. So we are just going to see the pivot table activities. So in the company, the pivot table is going to be used for the two purpose. One is for data summarization and the second one is for remove duplicates. Right? So there are two purpose to use the pivot table into the organizations. तो अगर आप डेटा समराइजेशंस की बात करते हो, so the mean of the data summarization is if you have a raw data which is a combination of a multiple things or a multiple entries, but if you want to summarize those entries into a single line item and you want to report to the management, then we can just go for this data summarization part. Pivot का जो shortcut होता है that is Alt DP, or you can also use the Alt DPF, right? Alt stands for the alter, D as in data, P as in pivot. Same here, Alt stands for the alter, D as in data, P as in pivot, F stands for the finish. So the difference between the both of the key is if you press the Alt DP, so it is going to give you the option that the pivot table you want to create on the new worksheet or existing worksheet. But once you will press the Alt DPF, so it is going to create your pivot table by default into the new worksheet. So this is a difference between both of the keys. Now suppose if you have a data like month and sales, you have a month as Jan, Feb and March, and you have a sales like 10, 20 and 30. Now if I will just create the pivot from this table, so it is going to be created easily, it is not going to create an issue for you. But if I will delete this sales column, and now if you want to create the pivot table of this data, so it is not going to be created because the header is missing. So the golden rule of the pivot table is data must have the column heading, or you can say fields, right? Now, so once you will create the pivot table from this data, so your source data field is going to be displayed into pivot table fields, so it will look like in this way. You will see month and sales, and adjacent to each fields you will be able to see the check boxes. So these fields you need to drag and you need to create the visualizations. So where you are going to drag these fields? So into pivot we have a four drag fields. One is filters, second rows, third columns, and fourth values. So we have these four fields where we can drag our source fields into any of these pivot table fields and create the visualization as we want to demonstrate. So now let's understand. Now if we have a data, here we have an agent name, then account type, open by, and branch, customer, date and amount. Now here you can see as of now we have 749 records. So now my requirement is I just want to summarize the data and I just want to see the total sales agent wise. So just select this data and press Alt DPF. So once you will press the Alt DPF, so now you can see in your new sheet the pivot has been created. Now if you go into your raw data and you will be see these fields, agent, account type, opened by, so these fields are being reflected into your pivot table fields, right, which I have shown to you. So here I just want to calculate the agent wise sales. So drag this agent into filters. So once you will drag the agent into filter, so here you will be able to see all the individual entries or agent's name into this drop down. So now you can see the duplicates has been removed. So if I will select any of the name and click on OK, so it is going to filter my pivot table only. If you want to select two or more than two names, so here you have the option as a select multiple items, and you need to check this box. Once you will click on this, check this box, so you will be able to see all the you will be able to see the check boxes with all the individual names. Now you can see, correct? So you can check those many names which you want to be checked. Now if you will drag this agent into your column, so now you can see the name is going to be demonstrated into columns only. If you will drag this agent name into rows, so now you can see it will be reflect into rows only. So this visualization is clear. So now here you can see the unique name which you have, that is a 8 unique names you have, right? Now I want to see the total sales, so drag this amount into values, and now you can see your visualization has been created. So in this values field, always those field will be dragged for which you want to do this some kind of a calculations. For example, if you want to do the sum, the multiply, so sum, if you want to go for the different activities, you can say sum, count, average, max, mean, product, standard deviations. So you need to drag that field into this values only. Now here you can see you have this row labels and sum of amount. So if you want to change the header, so you can change it. Suppose I say I have this agent name and this is my total sales, so I can change the header, right? I can change the header. So these pivot table fields will be reflected only when you will put the cursor into this pivot table plot area. If you will put the cursor beyond this pivot table, so it is going to be hide. Now you can see it is going to appear. So if you will close this from here, now you can see if you are putting the cursor into pivot table plot area, so it is not going to be reflected. So what you need to do, just do the right click, and here you will be able to see show field list. Just click on here, so it will be appear. If you want to remove this grand total, so here you just need to do the right click on this grand total, and here you will be able to see remove grand total. Click on this one, so now the grand total will be removed, correct? So this is the way of the pivot table. Now suppose I say I just want to see the total sales and I just want to go for the average sales also. So now drag this one and I say this is total sales versus average sales. So just drag this agent into rows, amount into values, and here again drag this amount into values, right? So I am going to rename this. This is name, this is total sales. Now this total sales I am just going to convert into the average. So there are multiple ways. The first way is you can do the double click on this sum of amount to header. Double click, so you will be able to see value field setting wizard, and here you will be able to see this average. You can click on OK. The first way. The second way, you can do the right click in any of these cells and go into summarize values by, and here you can go for this average. Or the third way is on this bottom, the sum of amount to, you can just simple click, and here you can just go for value field setting and you can select this average. Once you will click on OK, so now you can see it will be converted into average. If you want to change your decimal, so you can change your decimal, increase or decrease, whatever. So if you want to rename this, you can rename this one as average sales, right? So now you can see your total sales and your average sales has been created successfully. Now I said I want to see the total sales and the number of accounts sold out. Total sales versus sold account. So here you need to drag this agent into rows, drag this amount in values, and here we need to drag this account type into values. So now here you can see it is counted. So now here you can see when you have dragged the amount in values, so here you will be able to see the sum of amount. But when you have dragged the account type, so it is going to be reflect into the count. The reason is, into your raw data, in this amount field, the data which has been filled into the number format, and if you will drag any number into this value, so it is going to take the sum by default. But if you go into your raw data, so in account type, the data which is filled, so that is a text, and we can count the text only. We can count the text only. We cannot make the sum, right? So because of that, it is going to be reflect as a count. Correct? So this record will be reflect into this count only. So now you can see this is nothing but a total sales versus sold account. Now suppose I say I want to go for the branch wise. Correct? I want to go for the branch wise sales I want. So here I will drag this agent, drag this amount into values, and the branch I am just going to drag into this columns. So now you can see your data has been reflected into the branch wise sales. So simply you just need to drag and drop, right? Visualization, you need to check that what exactly the visualization you want to keep as per the requirement. Now suppose I say I just want to go into the drill level report. Now suppose I say I want to see the branch wise sales, branch wise versus account type. So what I am going to do, just drag this agent into rows, amount into values, and account type into columns. So here you can see this is the account type wise, right? But I say I just want to make the group of account type and branch. So this branch is I am going to drag into this column. So just drag this one. So here you can see, then branch, then account type. So here you can see this is central total, north county total, and west side total. So I do not require this total, so I am going to remove this one. So how you can remove this one? Just do the right click on this total, and here you will be able to see this subtotal branch. Just click on this one and it will be removed. So here you can see, you are getting this minus sign with this branch, right? So here what you need to do, once you will click on this, so it is going to be collapse. Now you can see, so it is going to be collapse only. So this is nothing but this is known as a grouping. So once you will click on this, so it is going to be expand, and you can see the drill level report in the central branch for which account type what exactly the sales figure is. So it is going to be demonstrated. Correct? So this is the concept of grouping. We can also use the group into the quarter wise sales. For example, I say I want to reflect the quarter wise sales. So here you can see this agent, drag this agent, drag this amount, right? And I want to go for this date, right? Because I just want to go for quarter, and only date is going to help you to make your date into this quarter format. So here you can see your date is being reflected as you have into the raw data. So just put the cursor in any of the date and just do the right click, and here you can see this group. So once you will click on this group, so now you can see your data is into the month format. So because of that, this month is getting checked. So just click and uncheck it and click on this quarter and make this okay. So now you can see your data is reflecting into this quarter format. Now I said I just want to go for the quarter, and I also want to see the month. So just do the right click, click on group, and along with the month click on quarter also. Now you will click on OK. So now you can see, just make this group of this quarter. Now you can see this is a quarter wise, and if I just want to see in which quarter, in which month the sales figures, what exactly was the sales figure, so I can just click on this plus sign and I can see in quarter 2 this is the result of April, May, and June. So this is nothing but a grouping. Correct? So it's a depend on you or a business requirement as well, right? So what exactly the kind of a drill levels reports you want to demonstrate to your management or a top level, right? So he or she is going to see the pivot table, and on that basis the drill level can also be performed by her. So this is nothing but this is known as a grouping. Now we are just going to see the calculated field. So calculated field is also known as a virtual field, correct? So just drag this agent, drag this amount, and here I am just going to create the calculated field. So calculated field is nothing but calculated field is known as a virtual field, right? Calculated field is known as a virtual field. Virtual field means a field which doesn't exist in your source database, but you are just going to create through the functions and which will be the part of your pivot table. So here suppose I am just giving you one condition and I say if the sales amount is greater than 921799, then I just want to go for 10% bonus, and if the amount is less or equals to, then I want to reflect as a 0. So I want to create a new field as a bonus. So here you can see pivot table tools, go into analyze, field items and sets, and click on this calculated field. Now here you need to give the field name, I said bonus, and here I want to create the formula. So as per my requirement, the formula will be if, right? If this amount, just select this amount, click on insert field. If the amount is greater than 921799, comma, value if true, then what you want to go for? I want to go for 10% bonus. So you can select this amount and click on insert field, or you can directly double click on this amount. So I want to calculate 10% of amount, else 0. Now click on OK. Now you can see bonus has been calculated and this bonus field has been added into your pivot table. Now suppose if I just want to create one more field as a grand total, and here I just want to make the sum of this amount and bonus, and here you once you will click on OK. So now you can see this grand total field will be created and it will reflect into your pivot table fields. Now if I just want to see the raw data of this pivot, so here you can go for this change data source, and here you can see this is your raw data, correct? Now if in this pivot you are able to see this bonus and grand total, but if those fields are not being reflected into your raw data, so you must understand those are the fields which are calculated, right, which is created through the formulas. So if I just want to see what kind of a formula we have implemented for a bonus and grand total, so we just need to go into analyze and click on this field items calculated field, and from this drop down you will be able to see this bonus and grand total. So once you will click on this bonus, so you will be able to see this bonus formula, and once you click on grand total, so it is going to show you the grand total formula, correct? Now if I want to create a separate report of this calculated field, so here you can just go into this list formulas, and once you will click on this list formula, so it is going to create a tab before this calculated field where you will be able to see all the calculated fields, the number of calculated fields, the name of calculated fields, and the formulas. Now you can see, correct? You have created two calculated field, bonus and grand total, and these are a formula which are implemented. So this is a use of list formulas, right? Now let's understand about the change data source. Let's understand about the change data source. So here what you need to do, you have these columns and I am just going to create the pivot. So I press Alt DP, click on next, next. Where do you want to put your pivot? I say existing, and any of the cells you can select it. So now here you can see you have created this pivot. Now here you can see it says the Pramod has done sales of 500 and it is same reflecting into your pivot. Now if you will make these changes, suppose you said 8700. So here in this pivot it is not going to be changed until and unless you will do the right click in any of these cells in pivot area and do the refresh. Now you can see, then only it will reflect. But now if you will add the new record, suppose I have added the new records as a Mukesh, and if here I have done some changes like this way, so if I will do the refresh, so it is not going to be reflect, right? Because you have not done the changes into your existing data, you have added the new records. You have added the new records. So now what I need to do, so here put the cursor into this pivot, go into analyze, then go into change data source, and here you can see, right, this Mukesh is not going to be added into your data. So here you need to select this data entire again and click on OK, then it is going to be reflected. So this is the way how we are going to use this change data source. But now if you want to make your pivot dynamic, so let's understand how you are going to make your dynamic pivot. Dynamic pivot. So what you need to do, before creating the pivot from this table, just press the Ctrl T and click on OK, right? Ctrl T is nothing but a create table which is going to make your range dynamic. So now just select this one and here press Alt DP, then create the pivot table, whether that is on the new worksheet or existing, right? So now here you can see I have added these two fields. Now if I will make any changes, for example from 8700 to I make this 5455, so I will do the right click and refresh. So now you can see the amount has been changed for Pramod Kumar. Now if you will make the new entry, I suppose you have done for Rohit and the amount is 19,900. So now you simply do the right click and click on refresh. So now you can see the new line item will be considered. But suppose if you have added this new record, if you have added this new record, for example I say Alok, and if I have added some entries for him, and suppose for Pramod I done some changes. Now if you will not do the right click on your pivot, so it is not going to be changed, correct? The new record will not be reflected, and in existing data the changes which you have done for a Pramod Kumar, it is also not going to be reflected into your pivot. So what you need to do, so these kind of errors should not be there. So for safer side, what you can do is just do the right click and go into pivot table options, and here you need to go into data tab and click on this refresh the data when opening the file. Just check this box, right? So if you will forget to refresh your pivot table, so once you will open this file, so it is going to be refreshed automatically, right? So you just need to check that boxes. So this is a use of this dynamic pivot. Now let's understand about this slicer. So what is a slicer? Let's understand. Slicer is nothing but a total filter. So if I have dragged this agent, amount, and suppose customer, and I say I just want to get the filter of a branch, so here you can see the insert slicer. Click on this one and select this branch, and now you can see it is going to be filter. So now if you will click on this one, so now you can see it is going to be changed, right? If you just want to consolidate the two or more than two branches, suppose I want to consolidate, suppose I say I just want to consolidate the central and west side. So what I can do is I have click on this central and just hold the control key and click on this west side. So now you can see west side is selected, but now you can see amount is not changed because I have holded the control key. So now I am going to release the control key and you can see the amount is going to be changed. Now you can see, correct? So if you want to select the two or more than two entries into your slicer, so you just need to hold the control key and click on that entries, correct? You can insert the slicer as many as you have requirement. Suppose I select this state, now you can see, correct? So now you can see we have a more line items in date, so I need to go for the scroll down. So here I can make this into 3 columns. So now it will look like a calendar, you can see, and it is going to work perfectly. Now you can see your data is getting filtered into pivot. Now for example, if you have a slicer and if your slicer is not getting impacted on pivot, right, now you can see your slicer doesn't impact on your pivot. So if this kind of a scenario happens, so always you should remember the connection between the pivot and the slicer has been disconnected. So what you need to do, you need to create the connection. So just do the right click on pivot, go into report connection and check this box, right. Now you can see now it is going to be impacted. If you want to rename the slicer name, so here you can go into options and here you can go into slicer caption and here you can change the calendar. Now enter, now you can see, correct. Or you can also do the right click, go into slicer setting and you can also change it from here. And if you do not want to display this header, so just uncheck this box and click OK, so the display will be disappear. So this is a use of a slicer. And in the slicer you will not be able to see the calculated field. Now you can see you have created this bonus and grand total calculated field. Now if I will insert the slicer over here, so you will not be able to see those calculated fields. So in slicer you will not be able to see this calculated field. Now let's understand about show report filter pages. Show report filter pages. So show report filter pages means if you want to create the individual pages. So suppose if I have this pivot where I have the agent name, existing and new sales for a customer. Now I say I just want to create the branch wise report on the basis of this existing and new. So what I can do is I can drag this branch into this filter and here in this options you can see this down arrow. Click on this one and here you will be able to see this show report filter pages. So just click on this one and here you can see it says on which field you want to create the pages. So I say for the branch, once I will click on OK, so it is going to create the 3 tabs before this one, before this tab for all these 3 branches. Now click on OK. Now you can see Central, this is for North County and this is for the West side. So this is a use of a show report filter pages. So if you want to create the multiple tabs for individual line items, so you or individual entries, so you just need to go for this show report filter pages. We have the last one, we have the, you can say I just also need to create the one pivot which is known as a classic pivot. So how we can create this one? Suppose I say I have this agent, I have the amount and suppose I have a branch. Okay. So here you can see you have a name, then you have these group of branches and then you have a sales. But now my requirement is in this first A column I want to go for this name, in second I want to go for the branch and in third I just want to go for the sales. So how you can go for it? Just do the right click on pivot, go into pivot table options, go into display, then you have a classic pivot table. Click on OK. So now you can see. If you do not require this total agent total, so you can do the right click and click on subtotal agent. So now you can see in first column you have a name, then branch, then total. Now if I will uncheck that classic pivot table layout, so it is not going to be changed into your pivot table. It is a one-time activity. Now you can see. And here if you want to repeat this item labels, so you can go into design and here you can see repeat all item labels, so that will be repeated. So this is a use of this pivot table. If you do not want to repeat, you can go for do not repeat item labels. You can uncheck that one. Clear? So here we have seen all these things, the pivot table, golden rule of pivot table and grouping, slicer, each and everything we have just covered. Thank you.